So yes, excitement for the next movie was already built up as we answer the question of, wait, shouldn't there be a Twilight counterpart somewhere? So what's her deal? Well, her deal was answered in the third movie, The Friendship Games. Also, Friendship Games, coming out this year, month before another famous franchise with the word games in it finishes up. I see what you did there, Hasbro. So yes, Friendship Games, where we're introduced to not only human Twilight, nor Sci-Twi as she's affectionately known in the fandom, but also the Shadowbolts, an evil reflection of the main six. Evil counterparts to the main six, huh? Where have I heard that idea before? Okay, maybe they're not evil, but they are jerks. Kinda ill-defined jerks at that. I mean, I know there's only so much time they have to make these movies, but still, it would have been nice to know a little bit more about these girls. Well, let's look into what we do have. Excluding Twilight herself, we have Sour Sweet, whose thing is to say something nice and then something incredibly mean afterwards, probably as a byproduct of some kind of mental illness she really needs to get looked at.
You are such a sweetie! I am watching you.
Then we have Sugarcoat, who tells the truth in the most blunt, unflattering way possible, but she did have some of the funniest lines in the movie.
That was a really bad speech. You should consider not speaking in public.
Then there's Indigo Zap, who was originally going to be Lightning Dust, but I kind of like they made her own character better. She's the competitive one to go against Rainbow Dash. And my second favorite. I don't know, something about her just really clicked. Maybe it's the goggles. They remind me of something else. Now, my favorite is Lemon Zest, the rocker girl, and the Pinky counterpart. She's fun, looks cute, and gave us one of the most exploitable scenes in the entire movie. Told you there'd be more of those. And also, Sunny Flare was there. And makes me rhyme, apparently. Yeah, out of all these underdeveloped characters, she is the most underdeveloped. I mean, what do we really know about her? I guess she's supposed to be the rarity counterpoint, but we don't really get to see that at all. She has like 3 lines in the movie, and they're all pretty generic.
Seriously?
I mean, the only thing we really seem to know is she looks like she stole Leela's wrist thingies. But basically, she just exists. Like Flash. Hey, maybe we can pair them up and they can exist together. I dub this pairing Sentry Flare. And the one in charge of all of them is Principal Cinch, who is just awful. There's not much to her character at all. She is just, a bitch. I mean, it's effective, and we don't always need a high-stakes villain, but she just wants her reputation to be good. That's it. Not much to her. Thankfully, they do have Dean Cadence there to offer a much kinder, gentler support system. Though I have to say, Human Cadence has a surprisingly round face. Just shockingly round. And design-wise, it seems they developed her in certain places, if you know what I mean, and I think you do. So those are our support players out of the way. Let's get to the main attraction here, Sci-Twi. What's her deal? Well, her deal is being sorta Season 1 Twilight with her own thing. By that, I mean, yes, she's cut herself off so she doesn't have friends, but unlike what we saw of Twilight in the pilot who just went to books instead of friendship, it seems this Twilight wants to have friends, but is socially awkward and surrounded by a bunch of jerks who just don't want anything to do with her. That's what led her to be withdrawn and have Spike, the dog, as her only friend, and to pursue her goal to be in the Everton study program. Which, of course, led into her amazing song, What More Is Out There. Now, I know this was originally meant to be sort of a duet with Sunset Shimmer as she tries to figure out if she should stay in the human world or go back to Equestria, but I like it as a solo act better. Mostly because I like the idea that Sunset is comfortable in the human world and this is her home. But also because it gives us a better insight to Sidetwice's thinking and what she's going through. Although, parts of it do remind me of something else. I can't quite place it. No, that's too obvious. This is something a little more obscure.
Go beyond these ancient walls, go beyond these ghostly halls, go beyond.
Beyond these rooms, beyond these walls.
Yeah, that's it. Actually, a little frightening how well that matches up. Huh. Along with trying to find her place in the world, she's also trying to understand magic, which led to a great bit in the opening of the movie where she's examining the Canterlot Wondercolt statue with a very familiar looking device. And props to the design team for combining the cartoon PKE meter with the movie's PKE meter. Because if you noticed in the movies, the two antennae were on the sides, whereas the cartoon, they came up from the top. Maybe I'm the only one who noticed those things, but I enjoyed it. And to show the parallel between her and Sunset, Sunset is also trying to figure out how magic really works in this world. Especially since the Humane Five are now ponying up without playing their instruments. Kind of like how Dash did in the pep rally song. And I have to point out, while I'm glad that the students here aren't denying that magic exists, because one of my most hated tropes is the denier who sees things in front of them and still like, oh no, that didn't happen. They're a little too blasé about magic. Like, she just spontaneously grew wings and flew around the gym while singing this great song. They're like, yeah, that's a thing that happens here all the time. I mean, it is, but still. Yeah, at least Vice Principal Luna has enough sense to try to get Sunset to figure out what's going on with the magic. Although, I don't really think she should, because, as a wise man once said,
Well, that's a great thing about magic. Can't be explained.
and that's coming from a guy who really knows. But I guess we wouldn't have much of a plot if they didn't try to figure out how magic was working. So, after some frustrating problems trying to figure it out herself, Sunset writes to Twilight for advice. And she doesn't write back. Now, what's actually supposed to be going on is that Twilight is dealing with the time loop of the season 5 finale. But because of the stupid hiatus Discovery Kids did, and then coming back, well, we get our scenes like this
She's a princess in Equestria. Probably got problems of her own to deal with.
on the same day scenes like this aired.
I'm bored.
So it kind of makes Twilight look like a jerk who just won't pick up her phone, or book in this case. But either way, I'm actually glad Pony Twilight stayed out of this. It's, again, another great character building moment for Sunset Shimmer, and shows, as a franchise itself, Equestria Girls can stand on its own two legs, so to speak. Plus, we have completely adorable Sidetwilight to tide us over. I swear the design for her must have been like, how do we make Twilight look even more nerdy and cute? Throw some glasses on her, put her hair in a bun, and make her even more socially awkward. Done. And it works. It really, really works. Even though she's inadvertently going around stealing the magic from the other girls, I just can't hate her. Mostly because the other Shadowbolts are also terrible. And even then, I'm not sure I can blame them, because when they have a party, and Pinky actually gets the thing started, the Crystal Prep students do start mingling with the CHS students, and they do seem to be getting along. It was only when Principal Cinch brought things to a screeching halt that they started to segregate themselves again. So maybe it's not the fact they want to be this way, but the fact that Principal Cinch is kind of forcing her beliefs on them to make her perfect. Oh my Celestia! No! 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 Huh. Well, I guess this year was the year of powerful manipulators. After the party, we get into the friendship games proper with another great musical montage. The highlight, of course, being Pinky's miraculous Mona Lisa cake. I love the look on her face there, too. It's like, oh, you made a cake. That's cute. I do this every day, son! Also, to note, when they have the spelling bee montage, the ones who are eliminated actually did spell their words wrong. That's a nice touch. And, of course, it gave us epic math.
Can she do it? Will she make it? Who will win it? Who will take it? Can she do it? Who will take it? Did she win it? Did she make it? Who's the winner? Who's the reject? How did she answer?
Incorrect.
Which Sunset Shimmer didn't win. But I guess that's what happens against genius level intellect. And again, a nice showcasing of how different the schools are. Even though they lost, all her friends were happy for Sunset because, hey, she got them farther than they've ever done before, while all the Crystal Preppers were kind of bleh on Twilight winning. Because, again, jerks. Then we come to the athletic part of the games, and, okay, I gotta point this out. I understand the need to sell toys. I understand the need to make this exciting. But motocross? Really? How many of these kids actually have licenses? How many of them can actually ride a motocross bike? And barring that, you put a jump in the track? A track, I might add, that is not only surrounding the rest of the playing field, but is itself surrounded by bleachers. This is a legality nightmare waiting to happen. I'm just saying, there had to be a crap ton of waivers signed to agree to any of this. And this is all before Twilight's pendant sucks up Applejack's power and then somehow opens a portal to Equestria and unleashes terrifying, deadly vines on everyone. It was just by the grace of this being a children's cartoon show that no one got seriously injured or killed. Granted, this is me being nitpicky, but still, it's just, sometimes it can be a little too much. But the aftermath of this led to a scene that I really wish had gotten more prominence, not only in the movie itself, but in the fandom. After Principal Cinch accuses Celestia of using magic on her students to cheat, because again, we just blindly accept magic exists in this world, Sunset feels bad that they will be disqualified because she can't control the magic that she brought over here. And then Principal Celestia comforts her by telling her it is not her fault. This scene really got to me when I thought it over. As I said, I wish it had more impact in the story, or at least on Sunset herself. Because, think about it. This is as close as she has gotten to her mentor telling her that it's okay. That what she did in the past is over now. It's not her fault. She shouldn't keep beating herself up about it. It's the best reconciliation between the two that, sadly, I think we're ever going to get. We need this scene with Princess Celestia and Sunset. Just a quick scene where she goes back and confronts her old mentor and apologizes and they make up. Yes, it being Principal Celestia doesn't carry the same weight, but I have to believe it had some kind of effect on Sunset. But no time for that, we gotta rush to the finale of this thing. Yeah, the pacing for this one did feel kinda off. I felt like something got cut between the rally and then the finale. They didn't bring it up in the commentary, but I don't know, just I feel there's something on the cutting room floor, and maybe that was more development for the Shadowbolts. But that had to be dropped to show off how terrible Principal Cinch is again. Though, granted, it was done through an amazing song. And yeah, I kinda gotta disagree with Dr. Wolf here. I love Unleash the Magic. Could this same bit have been done through just regular conversation? Well, yes. Would it have been as effective? I don't think so. There's just something about the tone, the melody, the atmosphere, all of it's this semi-real, creepy effect that you can see is playing with Twilight's mind. The chorus of the Crystal Prep students really helps sell it, and you can see her slowly starting to come around to this idea of using the magic she's acquired. It just feels like something would have been lost if this was just a regular conversation, but that's me. And when she does unleash that magic, man, is it just a beautiful spectacle. Also, I think we found out where she's been storing it. Her skirt. I'm just saying, if this were an anime, that mid-transformation sequence would look a lot different. Not that they didn't skimp out on making Midnight Sparkle one of the sexiest villains we've gotten in the series. Yes, yes. Not a word. Now, I've already talked about how much I love this finale, so I won't go into it too much again, but I do gotta point out two things. One, which timeline is Midnight Sparkle opening the portals to? Like, is this supposed to be Equestria right after all the time loop got fixed, or is this one of the halfway decent timelines? Because everything looks okay there. And two, this scene with Sunset and Twilight coming down, I've seen a thing online where it said that looks very similar to the ending of Legend of Korra, where Korra and Asami are going into the spirit world. And if that scene was supposed to be a confirmation of a ship, well, American dream, right? And so we bring Friendship Games to a close, with this Twilight deciding to stay and learn friendship. Just like our original Twilight. Who she gets to meet. I really do enjoy that scene, but I wish it was a proper after-credits scene. That's what it feels like. But still, its placement doesn't take away the fact that it's just really amusing. And so those were the Equestria Girls movies. Honestly, I could say more, and probably will in other videos, but I've been talking for almost an hour at this point, and I'm getting tired, and I'm sure you guys are tired of hearing me talk. I will say, though, that I agree with some thoughts where these do have the same problems the show has, and it makes it seem more prevalent because of the condensed presentation. But at the same time, the bright spots from the show are also here, and they seem even brighter because of the condensed presentation. I just feel there really is a lot to enjoy and get out of this spin-off series of My Little Pony. Yes, it features humans, you just gotta deal with that, but they're still the same fun things we've had for the past 5 years. And while I would have been satisfied if Friendship Games ended up being the last of them, I'm really excited we're getting a 4th movie. They've finished Sunset's arc, so I want to see where they go next. Are they going to do more with Human Twilight, the rest of the Humane 7, the Crystal Prep Girls maybe? Maybe flesh out some of the background people. Who knows? That's kind of the Equestria Girls series in a nutshell, isn't it? We never really know what we're gonna get with it. It all started off as a mild curiosity on a website, but it's grown into a quite grand, spirited adventure. So, what do you think of these movies? What are your favorite parts? What are your least favorite parts? Do you like them? Do you hate them? Let me know in the comments below. And while I went over a lot of stuff here, I didn't touch on just why the elements of harmony created 2 evil beings when they were being used. Well, that will be for my next video. So, join me then. And until that time, I don't know, Let's go with Birdie for this form. That works, right? So I am Birdie, and I hope this is going to wear off before the next episode!
I spent so much time searching, looking for something more. Digging holes too deep and opening every door. And when you stand too close, yeah, the picture's never clear.
Hey, babe. I know we were supposed to go on a date, but, well, this happened. Wait, you're okay with this? Well, alright then.